All right. So here, can you hear me okay? Okay, no problem. Uh, Good idea. Do you guys know how to raise your hand if you want to speak? At the bottom, there's a toolbar and there's emotions or reactions that you can have. If you just, uh, let me show you real quick. So you have at the bottom of your screen a toolbar that says participants, chat, share screen, reactions. If you click on it, there's a little smiley face button. You can you can either clap or give a thumbs up. Do you see it appearing in the top of my screen? Yes, you got it. So if you need, it just goes away by itself. Or you can tap again and it'll go away. But while I'm going through the video or Miss B and I are talking about it, if you need to ask a question or say something, just do that and then we'll see it. And I'll pause. Okay. All right. Let me go back to screen sharing. All right. So here we go. Transferable skills. First of all, before I go on to this, what do you think transferable skills are? Hmm. No, that's great. Dawn, that was awesome. If you know that trans and transfer means across, so what do you think that means as far as skills? Skills that you have. Yes, yes, you do. Yes, you do. Okay, well, let me tell you then. And you'll go, oh, yeah, that's exactly what I knew that was what I meant. So, transferable skills are skills um, that you can use throughout your life. They're not just skills for one particular job or activity. They are skills that you have that are relevant in any situation, whether it's socially, professionally, at school, at home, in your community. Another term for that is portable skills. Okay. Um, they are usually acquired through personal experience or through learning, like you do in school or on the job or practicing a hobby, learning how to play guitar or something like that. These are things that you learn as you go through life. In other words, if you become good at one particular skill, you have to think about, or one particular activity that you enjoy. Say you enjoy playing sports. What did it take for you to become good at sports? What are the skills that you needed to get really good at in order to perfect that sport? And those are skills that you can use in any situation. So, what do you think are some transferable skills? Skills that you need to have that are good in any situation? Sorry about that. Nope, that was my fault. No, no, no. I see your little hand. Yes, please. Mm, yeah. Yep. Yeah. That's called empathy, right? When when you put yourself in someone else's shoes and see things from excellent. John, what do you think? Can you add any skills to that? John, can you hear us? Do you have anything to add to that? Any skills? Mm-hmm. Yep. Two very excellent examples. All right. So I want to watch this video with you. It's not that long. It might take us to YouTube. I'm not sure how this is going to work while I'm actually screencasting. So I'll try to keep it all together here. And we'll see what happens. We'll talk about it on the other side. Okay. Mute. Let me know if you can hear this or not. Can you guys hear it? You can't hear anything? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'll post the okay. I'll post the link in the chat box so then you can click on the link and watch it on your laptop. Okay? So go ahead and click on that. I'll check back in with you guys in like 5 minutes, okay? Okay. Is everybody done watching? I'll just assume JP's with us. JP, you're with us, right? Okay, cool. Did you watch the video? Why not? Oh, you couldn't see it on your phone? I think one of the reasons you couldn't hear it first was because I had my headphones in, so I took them out, and hopefully that helped, or you watched it on your own. Um, Dawn, did you? Don't know why she's not unmuting. Okay. So, um, we didn't show all of the video, we only showed a portion of it, but I think from it we can see that there is a good relationship between sports, um, which is probably why every single motivational video out there has to do with sports. And at first it used to drive me crazy, but hearing these people talk about the connection between having a job and working in the business world, and playing sports is so connected. These are skills that you'll learn throughout your life and from playing sports or from doing something that you love, because you're putting more effort into it than you would something that you don't necessarily love. Um, I see Dawn's trying to chat with us. Oh, okay. So you guys are on your phone. So hopefully you'll get to watch it at some point because it is really good. It's only 5 minutes and it talks about all of these transferable skills here. Having time management. He talked in the video about Lombardi time. Lombardi was a coach, a famous coach, college coach. And he talked about showing up 5 minutes early than the original planned time. So if you had to be at work at 8, you better show up at 7:55. If not, you were late. If you showed up after 7:55, you were late. What do you think is the reason why you should show up at least 5 minutes before time? Anybody? Go for it, Dawn. Yep, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. So you can see why managing your time is so important, because the world is not going to stop and wait for you to catch up. Yeah, I agree with that. And one of the things I tell my other class is if you're going on a job interview and you don't know how to get there or how long it's going to take you to get there, that probably a day or two before your interview, you should practice going there so that you're at least familiar with the traffic patterns and all that. And like you said, Miss B, the knowing what floor it's on, knowing how to get in, and all those little things can take away from your time. So giving yourself that extra time is really important. Um, that requires planning. It requires organization, which are also skills that you need. Requires decision making. She also talked about flexibility. So if you're in a college classroom or on the job and you're super busy and someone is throwing more things at you, you need to be able to react quickly, or at least ask for supports if you're unable to do that. But you need to be flexible. If someone hands you something and says, this is what you have to do now, you need to be able to switch gears, right? And maybe drop what you're doing and move on to something else. Communication, Dawn, you already talked about that. It was really, really important. And we're going to dive a little deeper into that in the next couple of weeks because we want you to really focus on professional communication, how to communicate in a professional setting. Um, Teamwork, I think we use that in school all the time, not just in a sports situation. When you're in school, you have to be able to work with your teachers and work with the other kids in the class. I know it's not always easy, but that's a skill that you're learning as you're doing it. And having a strong work ethic means showing up and doing what you got to do, like you guys did today. You showed up for class, and hopefully you're going to take from this and go into the classroom and do all the work that you have to do to get caught up and reach your graduation. But that will transfer over into a job. I left courage for last because courage has so many other different names, and I think they talked about it in the video, which some of them is like perseverance, being brave, um, being able to push through things when things are hard uh, is a really hard thing to do. But if you can do that, you most definitely 100% will get out on the other side much better for it, right? So after talking about transferable skills, um, tell me a little bit about skills that you have or skills that you think you need to, consistency. Yep, consistency is a really good one. What are some ones that you think you are good at now, and some that you think that maybe you could improve upon? Go ahead, Dawn. Yeah, yeah, no, I hear what you're saying, and I think organization goes along with consistency, planning and organization, because like you said when you first joined us this morning, you said something to the effect of, it's time for me to get on to school now. Like there's probably you could probably just lay around and watch TV all day and play with the baby, but you really need to be in school, and you took that seriously. And so that's what we're trying to do for you by sending that schedule out to you. It's very flexible, of course, because we're in this uncertain time, but being organized and being consistent helps you become stronger in that area. So if you show up for your class 5 minutes early every day and you go through the steps with them, and then afterwards you do the work that follows up with it, that's consistency and organization and planning and making good decisions. It also impacts your strong work ethic. If you're willing to do that every day, your work ethic builds and you feel better about yourself at the end of the day, like you accomplished a lot, you know? Yep. Wish it was easier to bring up my chat. Seems to only appear. It's not doing that for me. That's frustrating. Maybe because I'm sharing my screen. John, how about you? JP, what are some transferable skills that you think you're good at and some that you think you need to work on? He might be. Hopefully you're still with us, John. I hope you didn't fall asleep. Hello? Maybe. All right. Well, we'll keep going. So I put some assignments in there for you. One is um, identifying transferable skills. So I'm going to go through that with you really quickly because I know that Toki already put a question on the board about it. So I want to go through them both really quickly, and then if you have any questions, you can ask because your classmates probably have questions too. Okay? And then we'll come back and watch this other video just because it's a cool video. All right, let me move all your lovely pictures to the bottom and go to our classwork. Yeah, you can just drag it. So I'm going to open up identifying transferable skills first. Let me move you guys back up again. There you go. So the first page is a lot of instruction. So you're probably going to refer back to that throughout throughout the activity while you're doing it. And the first thing you're going to do is review, obviously, the notes that we just went over. And then you're going to actually do the checklist, which is below. Checklist, column A. We want you to check off or tick all the things you have done. So if you go down here, column A, you're going to read through all of these. There's 30 some odd of them, 39 of them. And you're going to read through each one. Been on time for school every day for at least a week. Check if you have. And since this is such a weird time, I would think back to when you're actually in the physical building as opposed to right now because we're not in normal circumstances right now. Help to move large objects, check if that's a thing you've done. Babysat for a day, go through all of them. Check off the ones that you've done. If you're typing into this document and you don't know how to get to a check mark, they're in symbols somewhere, or you can just use like a star, right? Oops. If you've done it, you can use any character that's on your keyboard is fine. Or you can put a Y for yes, any way you need to make it happen. So that's A, right? Let's go back up to the instructions. After you've done A, think about how these skills may be transferred into a workplace. And you could specifically think about the career that you are interested in, or just in general. I'm okay with that. For example, shopped using a list means you can follow instructions and stick to a budget. So those are two types of skills that you could transfer over from the workplace to an activity in your daily life. Then go down to this list again and go through the list again, and in column B, check all the things you could easily do and or would like to do and or learn. Okay, so do you want to learn these, easily do them, or I would focus mainly on the ones that obviously you didn't put a check mark next to, because if you've already done these things, then those are the ones that you're going to think. For instance, down here is 18 is shopped using a list. If you've checked that, you know that skill that you used for that is going to transfer over to a work. But if you didn't do, say 16, done something good without being asked, maybe that's one you would check here. This is something I want to do, something I could do, or something I'd like to learn how to do. Make sense? Thumbs up if it makes sense to you. Awesome. Dawn, you're such a good virtual student. I love it. So then under number 5, I want you to answer, why do you want to do these things, and how by doing them will it help you build your employability skills? So this is you taking number 3 to the next level. It's not just thinking about it, but putting in an answer form. And you can just type it right in here under this question, right? So just bloop, start typing your answer right there, okay? And then finally, making a connection. Using the word skills checklist, see if you can identify which of the work skills relate to each of the activities on the transferable skills check. So that comes down here. So you're going to take, these are all skills that you need to be successful in the workforce, and go back up here and look at your checklist and which of these apply to each one of those. So let's take a look at some of these and see if we can't find punctuality. What activities correlate to being on time? Clearly number 1, right? So let's go down and put a 1 in here. Any others? Dawn, unmute yourself and hop in here. It's okay. We're talking about number 6 here, making a connection. Use the word skills checklist. See if you can identify which of the work skills relate to each of the activities on the transferable checklist. So this is the transferable skills checklist. Down here is the word skills. Can you see what I'm doing? Oh, can you get out of that and just see my screen share? That's okay. It's difficult when you're on the phone because it shows up differently. Okay. Okay. So I was saying we're going to go through this work skills checklist. We're just going to do the first one, punctuality, as an example. And we're going to look at the skills checklist up above and figure out which ones correlate with punctuality. These things on the left here are work skills, things that you need. They're transferable skills, skills that you need to be successful in life and in the workforce. So we're going to look at the skills list above and determine which ones match punctuality. Which of those skills correlate over to good work skills? So punctuality means being on time. We already said number one. Yep. I'll move it down so we can see the rest of them. Well, if you're punctual, it means you're on time, but I'm looking at 37 and thinking that could be included. I don't really think any of the other ones. So let's do 14 and 37, right? Do you want to try another one just to practice? All right. So think about reliability. That's the next one. Being a reliable person, people who can rely on you. So let's go back up and look at the skills and see which ones you think match. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Oops. What else? Yeah, I can count on you. My husband always says that. I can lift heavy things, he always says. He's a big guy. Well, I don't know, they're kind of intertwined, so yeah. If someone can rely on you, chances are you're a responsible person, right? Where is that at? What number? Oh, 14. These all overlap, so that's good. Yeah. Even looking after a pet, I think 3 and 4 would work in there. Hmm. Eight. I think 8. I'm not sure about 7. Hmm. That's a good point. So far we've said 1, 2, 3, 4, and 8, and 14. Any more? Probably because I was moving mine around. Are you there? We hear you. Uh-oh, I got knocked out. Okay, sorry about that. Can you guys hear me? Okay. It says my internet connection is unstable, so we might have to end this soon. So let's finish this one and then we'll end. Um, okay, okay. Yes. So yeah, this is the last part of it right here, okay? Filling in this activity. And then let me just pull up the other one real quick. And this is transferable skills in action. So this is a little bit more specific, okay? So the instructions are at the bottom. So let's go down to the bottom first. Step 1, identify a role, whether it's a job or a volunteer experience that you've had. That's what's going to go up in the top, your role, right up here, okay? You might have to print this because it looks as though this is an image copied from somewhere else. So you might not be able to type into it. You might have to print it out and write on it. I'll see if I can work on fixing that in the meantime. Number 2, what did you do? Who were you interacting with? List the major tasks that you performed in this role. So that's going to go in this section here. Identify 2 to 3, maybe 4, maybe 2 in each one. And then finally, in these last boxes, consider what skills you acquired from performing those tasks. So you can use your skills list from the other worksheet. Does that make sense? Step 3. What last part? Oh, okay. So step 3 is you're going to match the tasks that you did, just like we did in that last sheet. We had these. Wait, I did not sign out. What is happening here? That is ridiculous. I don't know what's happening here. It says I'm not in the meeting. I think my internet keeps going in and out. So yeah, let's finish this up. So this list that you have here, this is the list that you can use. These work skills. These are work skills. So use this list when you're filling out this. How do these skills match up with the activities that you were performing? Oh, it keeps knocking me out of stuff. All right. No, that's fine. Yeah. All right. I am going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to stop recording.